Hey guys, and all you YouTubers out there, this is Shooting for Fun here, and today we're going to be doing a little video here on our, this is our High Point 995 TS, and I think that stands for Tactical Stock there. And what we're going to do is we're going to show the basic takedown and the cleaning of this, and we're going to share a couple of concerns that we do have with this. Okay, and now this has a little more involved takedown than most of your standard, handguns or rifles or shotguns. There is a few things that have to come off of here, but we're going to go through that, and we're going to talk about some pros and some cons here. One of the first things you want to do is you want to use your little High Point tool. This comes with the High Point rifle. It's got the hex head there for your bolts on there. It's got your screwdriver in to adjust for your sights. And it's got this little fork in there, if you can see. Now there's several points that have to come off of here. Now the first thing, if you look at here, your discharge handle, or your charging handle, there's a bolt, the bolt end of it right there, that has to come off. Okay, so you just take your wrench, and we'll turn that, and it'll come off of there. The second part is this right here on your stock. This little lever right here flips up, and the best way to do that is to take your little High Point tool, stick it in there. There's a little thing on the side there. And it is a little stiff there, and it's hard to kind of... There you go, and that just flips up. Okay. So some of this it's a little more involved, so it's kind of going to be a little harder to kind of hold this thing and show you some of these things, but we're going to try to do the best we can there so you can get your best view of doing that. Now, once you take that off, this piece here, if you grab a hold of it, my hands are kind of slippery here. It's kind of hard to maneuver this around where you can get a hold of it, but this piece, you can see how it's coming apart here. And if you take your little tool and just kind of grab a hold, there we go. That piece just slides off. Okay. So now you have the top part of your barrel exposed there. Okay, and like I said, our little charging ring here has to come off. So we're going to take our little tool here, put that over that. I'm just going to get that loose, and then the rest of it will just unscrew with your finger. Now this is one of the downsides to this gun, and that's your charging handle there. Got your little knurled thing there, and it just goes over there. Now that particular feature I do not like, having to unscrew that from your bolt every time you have to take this apart to clean it, because if the little threads get knurled up, that's not too big of a deal. They sell these things, they're fairly cheap, that you can get to replace this and put it in there. What's the problem is if those threads in there get boogered up, and then you've got some problems. Okay. So now, besides with our wrench here that came with our High Point, I'm also going to use a 3/32 punch and the little mallet there, just to, there's a couple of pieces you have to tap out. Okay. So along with that piece that has to flip up, your bolt that has to come out, there's a little pin right here, a little clip that slides up underneath of that plate where your serial number is. Okay. Now, over a period of time, I'm sure that will probably loosen up a little bit and be a little easier to get out. But for right now, this is brand new, so everything's nice and tight and stuff. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take our punch here, and our little clip piece comes out. Okay. And we're going to set that aside. Now the last part, you have little pins that go through the rifle here and here. And we'll get up close to here, see if we can make sure you can see that. And there's a little tab that pulls over. Now these little pins here, there's one here, and there's one here. Those are kind of spring-loaded. There you go. This one you can kind of hear a little bit. This one a little tougher. But what you have to do is you have to push in on the back side of this. And you take your little punch, there's a little hole right there. And that pulls over. And your pin comes out. And I don't know if you can see that or not there. But on this end there is a little spring attached there. So it is a little spring-loaded pin. And then we'll do the one over here on the other side. Like I said, sometimes these pins are a little tough. This one for some reason is then you can take your punch and hammer it over. This one, for some reason, is a little tighter fit there. We're gonna and that pin comes out. Okay. Now, the top part of our shroud here, that has our rear sight on it and our Picatinny rail there. This whole shroud, if you just kind of lift up on it, make sure I got everything out. Okay. This part will just lift up and pull off. And it's got a little tab right there on the end. You can see that little tab there. That tab fits up underneath of this. So that when it goes back together, it's going to go up underneath of that, like that. Okay? So now we have the full barrel and assembly taken apart. Now I didn't show this before, but I did want to make sure that we'll take our mag out. Should have did this before, but I didn't. Just check to make sure that our gun is clear and empty and safe. Okay. Now, there is a little ring clip right here that sits down in there. And this whole mechanism, the whole trigger assembly and everything, if you just grab a hold of it here at the top, see how it just pulls up and the whole thing just comes out away from your stock. So here we have our stock. And now I bought this extra little foregrip here. And it's got a little storage compartment on the end. And that's usually where I keep my little tool there. I just keep it with the gun there. Okay. Now we're just going to set our stock aside for the minute. Okay, so now you have the whole trigger mechanism and the slide and everything here. Now what you have to do is that little retaining ring that's right here, that's a little plastic retaining ring that just slides down. And then right here on the clip, on the end here, there's a little clip that's got a little pin that comes through it. And hoping you can see that little clip right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little punch here, and like I said, after a while that will probably loosen to where you probably won't even need the punch. And what we did is, you can see our pin is now loose here and extended up past that. So now our slide is capable of being loose. So what we need to do is, you got a spring, your recoil spring is inside of here, so you got to be careful when you pull this apart. You want to hold both pieces. You want to pull back. You want to lift up. Lift up, separate it, and come forward. And there's our recoil spring and our guide rod. Now this is one of the features that I don't particularly like about this guy here. This is not a heavy duty polymer based plastic like your rest of your stock and everything is. This is just a normal standard plastic pin. Maybe you can look at this a little bit. I'm going to twist it around there. You can see that it's got a little bend to it already. Okay, like I said, it's just a little plastic like dowel rod basically in there. Now that particular feature I do not like. Okay, now they do sell for about $15. They sell a stainless steel version of this, which I am going to be getting. Okay, so that spring comes out, and now you have this assembly like this. Now if you want to take that front side off, there's 2 Allen head screws there. That front slide will slide off, and this will slide off. For my intents and purposes there, I'm just going to leave it on just to show you. Now here's our slide mechanism, and I don't know if the light will get down in there where you can see it, but inside of here, here's our little pin that comes out. We're going to slide this forward here. This is our there's 2 little springs. There's one's a bigger spring, one's a smaller spring that fits inside of it. That's for our firing pin. Then we're going to take take a little punch or whatever screwdriver there and slide it out. And there's our firing pin. Okay. So what you can do is you can clean. What I do is I take a little Q-tip and I'll put some the Remington rim oil on it, and that's what I use to clean most of it. And it has a silicone additive to it, and I like that feature because when you put the oil on it, I don't usually saturate my pieces. You know, I'll put a light coating on there because normally I'll clean my guns after every shoot. So what you do is you can get down into here where your firing pin goes, and you can see it's still got a little dirt and stuff in that. You go down your slide in the front where your firing pin is, and if you can see, we're getting still a little bit of dirt on there. So you want to clean that slide real good with the oil. And what I like about that oil is that it does provide a little additive. Even though you think, well, it's dried up, it's not. It still has a little silicone residue to it that gives it the lubrication. so you don't have to normally, you know, saturate your oils or your devices. Now, once you got that taken out, you got your trigger assembly here. You do have to be careful with that because there's a little pin right here that sits on this pin here. If you move that trigger around, that little pin right there can come out, and that little piece will come off of there. We got our little counterweight right here that sticks out the bottom. That's our counterweight. And what I do is all up inside of here, I'll just put some oil up inside the top part of where the barrel is, and inside of here, and up around this pieces here, just so that they're good and lubricated. Like I said, you don't have to saturate that much. Okay, now once you get that cleaned, you can run, since your barrel is exposed, you can take one of your barrel snakes and just run it down through the barrel, get your barrel good and clean. Okay, and then we want to reassemble. And the way we do that is basically just go backwards from where you were. Now this part's a little tricky because you have to maintain that firing pin assembly in here at the same time when you have to put that recoil spring back in. So what we're going to do is we're going to tilt this up, if you can see it there. We're going to put our firing pin back in. We're going to put our firing pin spring back in. And we're going to put this little pin back in. Okay? So now we have our slide ready to go back in. And now, for the tricky part, I'm going to turn our barrel around here. Okay. Your recoil spring is going to go up underneath of this barrel right here. Okay. Now this piece, your slide piece, has to come up. You catch onto that, and that captures that recoil spring there. And you got to make sure that this pin is pulled back, and you slide that up until that little peg. See, we missed our recoil spring there a little bit. That's our tricky part there. You have to capture that and be able to pull that back in without it shooting out on you like it just did. Okay. Okay. We're going to try again. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do, and okay, there we go. Now we pull this back. Make sure our clip is forward there. Make sure that captures our clip there. Then we're just going to hammer that clip back down. And we got our slide function back. Okay, that was our little tricky part there, was getting that recoil spring that sits down in there, getting that captured with our slide, sliding it back and putting our pin through there. Okay. So now we've got our basic assembly put back together. So once you've got everything well lubricated and cleaned up everything, your little retaining clip here, you can just slide back down, push down over that. And then we're ready to go back into our stock. So we'll take that. Want to make sure that you get your little the safety down into its notch, and it just pops back down into play. Okay. So now, it's all wiped off of there. Now we can put our shroud back on there. Now this shroud, you can buy different shrouds. They got some that's painted up like flags and red, white, and blue, and different ones of these little metal shrouds that you can buy to put on there to make it more decorative. They also sell little stickers that stick onto there just to give it a little, a little more design feel to it. So now we're going to stick that piece down in there, and we're going to rock our slide back down. Okay. And I'm just going to tap that a little bit, make sure it's all the way down in there again. Okay. So now, with that back on, we're ready to go with putting our pins back in. So you want to slide your tabs over, make sure that they're all the way over. And we're just going to push our tabs back through. Okay. Now when they're through, oops, oh, that one came out. There we go. You should be able to see the little, I don't know if you can see that one bouncing a little bit there, and that one there. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to push on that side, and you can take your little punch, there's a little hole right there, and push that back up. Same thing with this one. And that clips it back in. So now we've got our clips here and here put back on. Now the next thing is our little plastic shroud here. And again, I just kind of wipe things down real good here. What we're going to do is we're going to set that up there, pull back, and that just slides back on there, and you push your little tab back down. Okay. Now the last thing is we're going to take our charging handle here, goes in our hole right there. We're just going to hand tighten that. Then you can take your little high point tool, put it on there, and basically what you want to do is you just want to snug it up. You don't have to really torque that thing down. And our last thing is our little clip here. And we just want to make sure that's up there good. And there you have it. There's our assembly, disassembly. Now we want to make sure that we function here, so we're going to take our charge handle and so we're back to good functionality there. And what we do is we just want to wipe off any residual residue and fingerprints, you know. Now a lot of people really love this gun. And I was a little skeptical of it at first because it does weigh about 6.5 pounds. Okay, it is kind of a bulky little item there, but it's not as bad. And with that foregrip on there, it does handle pretty good. But it shoots wonderful. Everybody that I've seen, the only complaint they have, they say, well, it's ugly, or, you know, it's heavy, or whatever. But I've never had anybody complain about how it shoots. Okay? Now, like I said, other than the fact that this has to screw in and out every time you take it apart to clean it, I normally clean my guns after every shoot. But with something like this, where you have to take it, so far down there that you may want to do it, you can do it every other shoot or every 3 shoots or however you want to do it if you don't shoot it that often. And what I do is in between shoots like that, rather than to take the whole thing down, is I'll just cock it back. I'll run my snake through the barrel to clean the barrel, clean the inside faces there where the firing pin and all that is, and the slide, and just do a little basic cleaning that way, rather than have to take the whole thing down every single time. Hey guys, we're back, just shooting for fun here. We're back with our High Point 995. Sorry about that, we did have to split our video here. Our memory card got full, which basically means I talk too much. So, we got our guy back together here, and like I said, we went over some of the basic features here. I do like the fact that it does have a lot of rails. A lot of people put a flashlight or the laser up here. You can put your foregrip up here, and I do like the foregrip that it has a storage in the handle there, so I can put the little tool that comes with it. There's all kinds of optics, red dots and things that you can buy for the top, different sights and stuff. Now the sights on this are not actually that bad. You can look through here. It does have a windage and elevation adjust there, as well as on the front of your sight here, there's a bolt here that you can adjust your loop here, front loop, up or down. So there is quite a bit of an adjustment for that as well. Now, these come with the standard High Point. It's a 10 round mag. Now this is the same mag that also fits in the 9mm pistol, the C9. Okay. And it just snaps up in there, releases, and they also make Red Ball makes a version of this. It's like this one comes down, and then there's like another one that comes out at an angle there, so it looks kind of like a boomerang kind of thing. So as you put it in, it comes out more like this. So it does look a little funny, but it does give you 20 shots instead of 10. So it's like a double mag there. Okay. Now, I said people that love and hate this thing, and so far I've been, thoroughly impressed with it. It does have, like I said, it does have a lot of rails there for accessories and stuff. Like I said, the main complaint about this thing is, it's ugly, it's bulky and stuff. But they make the little stickers that you can put on there. They make one that's a laminate that you can get that actually has little wood panels that can go into your handle here, so it covers up the holes there, makes it a wood grain look to it. One of the features that I do like about this gun is if you look at this buttstock here, you can get that up where you can see it. It's got the 3 posts here. Now those are spring loaded. So if you notice the back of this stock, let me get it held up here where we can see it, it pushes in. Okay, so it compensates for your recoil on that back end there. Okay, so that's an extra added feature. Unlike the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, where it's just got the little tube that comes out where your slide is, where your charging handle is, this has a little cheek pad portion here. And they also make a little padded, like a little sticky pad that goes on here that gives you a little extra padding if you like that. It does come with a strap. If you want, you can remove the bolts off the front here and one of the ones off the back here, or it has a little clip-in features here. Okay. So you can put your shoulder strap on there as well. And like I said, I've shot this thing a couple times, and I've dialed in the sights and everything, and I mean, it really shoots good. It's very accurate. And all in all, for the price, which is under $300, you know, you just can't go wrong. And, you know, for the weight of it, like I said, I just shoot at the range, so I'm not going to be out traipsing through the woods carrying this thing, you know. So the extra added little weight there doesn't serve a problem for me. Okay. So that's how we do our basic takedown and cleaning of your High Point 995. And they make the 995, which is just standard. They make the which is the first model, and they make the 995 TS, which has the tactical stock on it. Okay. Now they also make an extra aftermarket stock for this. ATI makes it, and it goes on your barrel and everything. Assembly goes into it, and it's just a different plastic stock there. But it makes it look more like the Beretta, the CX. I think it's a CX4 or something like that. It makes it look like the Beretta carbine a little more. Gives it a little more aerodynamic look to it, if you like that look. This, like I said, I'm pretty satisfied with this. The way the rails are, and they do have different rails that you can buy for this and everything. Like I said, there's a lot of aftermarket features for this gun, okay, where you can really just trick it out any way you want. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. But hope you can help you out on this if you need to take it down and clean it. It's a really good gun. It's a really good shooting gun. It's an affordable gun, and I haven't foreseen any problems with it. So hope you enjoy. I'm shooting for fun, and thanks for watching, guys.